Hello, this is T West, and welcome to AfroSynergy.
Kill you to save you. We have just witnessed the typical stupidity within the American government with the recent votes to raise the federal debt limit by an additional $2 trillion. This was done to appease the bankers of Wall Street and the foreign investors who have benefited wildly from incessant consumer appetites of the American people. However, that appetite is dramatically being reduced. President Obama and most of the Republicans made a deal along with a sizable number of Democrats to delay the political bickering on the debt limit for a few months. Some say Barack Obama showed courage in deciding to go along with what the Republicans are promoting. This is not the first time and will not be the last time Obama acquiesced to the international bankers, because that is who the Republicans are in the pockets of. The Republicans told the American people that extending or even making what they called the Bush tax cuts permanent would create jobs. Has it created jobs? They then got Obama on record stating that extending the tax cuts would create jobs. Has it created jobs? No. The unemployment went up 9.2%. Your leaders are economically killing you to save you. I wish such could be true, but it is not. However, we can go all the way back to when the Republicans and George W. Bush cut the tax revenues while creating the largest number of millionaires and billionaires while there was negative growth rate in the United States. I believe it was in 2003 when the Bush tax cuts first took effect, but that did not create any job surplus. I believe Congress extended the tax cuts again in 2007, and that did not create any surplus in jobs either. But the number of millionaires and billionaires continued to grow and their profits kept rising. Last year, Obama agreed to extend the Republicans' tax cuts, and that has not created any surplus in jobs. We have a sizable number of troops in Iraq and Afghanistan who do not want to come back to the United States but prefer being in harm's way in the war zones. Why? It is because of the pay they receive if they are in a war zone. Fighting in a war zone comes with a paycheck without deduction of income tax. Also, it is difficult for many of these soldiers to come down off of the high of warfare and have to deal with the less adrenaline side of civilian life or back to the daily duties on the military bases in the United States. It's difficult for them to turn it off. General Mullen recently requested that American soldiers, if their stay is extended in Iraq, be given immunity. This would be immunity from prosecutions. For example, if they were to commit certain crimes against the Iraqi people, the Iraqi government could not put them on trial. The Iraqi government has shown no interest in extending the stay of American troops in Iraq. But General Mullen, who is stepping down soon from his position as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, has requested this immunity in the event the Iraqi government decide to extend the stay of the approximately 50,000 American troops. In the event that the stay is extended, General Mullen has indicated these American troops must be immune from prosecution in Iraq. Someone needs to tell the political leaders of the United States of America that anyone who commits a crime must not be immune from prosecution. This includes those leaders and soldiers within NATO who are committing crimes in Libya against the Libyan people. Recently, I mentioned in one report that NATO had bombed a food warehouse in the city of Zlatan, Libya, as well as a clinic and a mosque. Today, several criminal rebel forces were killed by the revolutionary forces of the Libyan government in Zlatan. There are those in the media who attempt to mislead you by calling the criminal forces revolutionary forces. These criminals of Benghazi are not revolutionary forces, but they do fight against the revolutionary government forces of Libya, which alone is standing against a federation of the strongest military forces in the world. American government officials are quick to prosecute any and all leaders of the Near East, but especially of Africa, who run counter to them, but have the gall, the nerves, to request immunity for themselves and their soldiers who commit crimes against humanity. George W. Bush lied and then proceeded to use the United States military to kill 1 million Iraqis. Barack Obama lied and now proceed to bomb and assist in the killing of Libyan civilians and the destroying of food in Libya and other infrastructure of Libya, including the targeting of Libyan journalists. We have not and will not hear a reverberating outcry from the United States, the European Union, or the Arab media about NATO's killing of journalists, because they are all in the same crime pool. And that's why we will not hear this outcry of the killing, the murdering of Libyan journalists by members of the NATO bombing team. Today, it was announced that Saudi Arabia plans to build the tallest building in the world. There is no surprise with this announcement, because Saudi has long been prostituting itself with the same bankers who are determined to destroy Libya and use Libya's wealth to sustain their globalist new world order of greed and power. If Muslims around the world want to send a very strong message to Saudi Arabia, deny them the billions of dollars by refusing to travel to Mecca. Keepers of religion should never be allowed to play you as fools. The criminal rebels of Libya assassination of General Yunus was another embarrassment for NATO, prompting the governments under NATO to demand a quick investigation into the killing. Immediately, the criminal rebels of Benghazi went and killed several supporters of the Libyan government in the Benghazi area. They burned the Libyan flag and then burned the pictures of Muammar Gaddafi. They then claimed this was the group that killed General Yunus. Liars. This was merely an excuse to murder those who refused to betray their government. One main calling card of the criminal rebels is that they kill and then burn their victims. They did it in February when they killed and burned the bodies of several Libyan soldiers in the Benghazi area and then blamed it on the Libyan government forces. They killed General Yunus and then burned his body, just as they burned the Libyan flag and burned the images of Muammar Gaddafi. Do you see their calling card? Do you see their mode of operation? The criminal rebel forces have been trying to take Zlatan and Brega for months and have never succeeded. But anti-Libyan media has often provided you with the propaganda lies from the mafia in Benghazi. They need to take these cities before they can come against Tripoli. But they have said for the last couple of months that Brega is under the control of the criminal rebel forces. This same media talk of Gaddafi's decade-long rule in Libya. Again, the Libyan people love Gaddafi. Why do they love him so much? Because he has done so much for the Libyan people. Even some of those who have aligned themselves against the Libyan government, after being brainwashed by the liars who only come to steal, to kill, and to destroy, are once again seeing the great deeds that had been accomplished under the true leader of the revolution in Libya. It's like a man who leaves a good woman for another who has all the pretty words, the smile, and all the moves that makes him shiver. When he discovers the woman was not all he thought she was, and that he had forgotten and taken for granted the steady and wonderful goodness of his wife, he is looking for a way back to her. To you rebels, NATO refused to let you go back to your first love and has killed some of you when you attempted to do so. Rebel leadership has done the same to some of you. That small circle of rebel leadership has been promised money and power by the French, the British, other Europeans, and American banking elites. These people do not give a damn about you, and this is why you see them waving the flag that represented British imperialism under King Idris. It was and remains the revolution that brought you education, that brought you better health, and some wealth under the leadership of the revolutionary Muammar Gaddafi. Wake up, and come to your senses. If democracy was better than Jamahiriya, America and the European Union nations would not be in bankruptcy right now. Listen, Libya is not bankrupt, but those who are bankrupt and need another shot in the arm with Libyan resources, they seek more life by sucking the life from the Libyan people. It is the wars that the United States and Britain has engaged in that has left them bankrupt and not even willing to bring home the remaining 50,000 American troops in Iraq. This means we are dealing with a desperate and insane group of individuals who are leading the United States of America politically and financially. This means such individuals will kill thousands of you and then tell the world they were saving your lives. Beware of those who kill to save. It is insanity. This is T West with AfroSynergy.